everybody, this is Jomena from Positively Driven, and I'm here with Edris Brown today. She's like a famous seamstress in St. Kitts, and we're going to be talking to her about few questions, asking her about the beginning of her business and how we got to this point and so on and so forth. So my first question for you, Edris, is how old is your business?
Well, I came back to St. Kitts in 1982 and I started then, so it's been over 30 years now.
Wow, 30 years. That's a lot of years. That's like me. Okay. What inspired you to begin a sewing business?
It was just something that I liked from, a youth. Used to try to make my own stuff before I went to England, and I just pursued it as a career.
You started on dollies?
Yeah. And my own self to and sisters.
Oh wow, and then you start making some good dolly clothes.
Yeah.
And then you start making some good sister clothes.
Yeah.
And then you said, okay, let me try it on my mother.
No, I didn't try it on my mother because my mother was then in England. But when I went to England, my first job was in manufacturing, doing pillowcases and sheets. So the whole thing came together from there, and then I went and I did some sewing classes. I took some sewing classes, and it developed from there.
Oh, okay. So after you did the manufacturing and the sheets, and then you did the sewing classes, then from there you came to St. Kitts, and then just decided...
Well, it didn't just came to St. Kitts because I didn't get to St. Kitts until 1982. I was in England since in the 60s.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, and I spent 22 years in England.
Oh, wow.
Before I came back.
And you're just working on your craft and getting it mastered. Okay. What were your initial struggles when launching your business, and how did you overcome them?
Well, I would say the only struggle that I had was to find the right location, to start off.
So how did that go? Like you were having issues to get like a good amount to rent, like the fee was the problem?
Well, I wasn't even looking at the fee. It was trying to get the right place, because when I came to St. Kitts, I lived here. So I started off working here. And so things, developed so fast, truly, with the sewing, that I had to get another location. And that wasn't not such a big challenge, but, it took some looking. And because people knew me, I guess I don't know how I got so popular.
So quick, word of mouth.
And all of it was word of mouth. And so I was able to get in touch with Mr. Seaton through, I think it was a doctor that was renting his place then. I don't remember what his name was.
So you could remember your first customer? Whether it was a woman, a man, a child, what he or she asked to make, how you get them in the door to be your first customer?
I can't remember the exact first customer. But I remember doing the Independence show with and it's the girl Blake.
Okay.
And then I did something for her sister, and that went off quite well. I did the Independent show, and then we did all kind of shows from there.
And then everybody started saying, "Who made the clothes?" And it's Edris. Okay, I'm getting the idea. I'm getting excited to see the whole output of everything. Okay, so what was the response of the public, maybe your friends or your family, when they got the news, or when you decided to tell them that you're on your own, you're doing your own business, and all of that?
Well, my friends was, very happy, because when I came, I didn't want to start just, they say, you got to do something, and, they were pushing me. And those were my friends, because my family then was still in England. And so I went along with my friends then, and it went well.
Okay.
I have never had any problem.
So you didn't have any critics and they were telling you negative, don't go that direction because it might not work out like how you would like it to work out and all those kind of stuff?
No, what I had was, we didn't have anything like that here in St. Kitts. Hurry up and get started.
Oh, okay.
You know, because we didn't have anybody who was doing dressmaking as a business.
Okay, okay.
You know, if there was anything maybe in a household thing.
They were like the first.
Yes. Yes.
Edris is like the first dressmaker, seamstress slash tailor slash whatever else in St. Kitts. Alright. What books or people or media inspired your inner entrepreneur to come out? Like, what give you fire behind your what did I say, behind your butt?
behind your wings.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just a zeal to see things fitted nicely and wanting something nice for myself. I figured that somebody else couldn't do it, you know, to fit me, so I had to do it for myself.
Okay, so there wasn't any books, no media, nobody of that sort. Okay. Who are your mentors or people who helped you or are still like helping you along the way? Like any motivational persons or maybe any friends that you stick around that inspires you and keep you motivated?
Truly, my inspiration comes from the Lord.
Okay.
Whatever I have to do, I do discuss it with Him. And I ask how to deal with it, which is the best effective way to do it.
And He works it out everything.
You understand? And so I don't go to people, and with my background knowledge, you know, because I had, as I said, I've been to England, I work in the industry, and I did courses, you know, so I was well equipped.
Okay. Understand. Okay, so what were some of your biggest mistakes or waste of time or money? Did you have any biggest, you know, things that you wish that maybe you would have never done or went that direction?
Well, I wouldn't say I would have never done. What I had in mind was to do my own outlet, and I allowed contract to take, you know, precedent over that. And so that was in the background, and it never rise the way I wanted that to.
Okay.
And I regret that.
Okay, so that's basically about
designing and making your own stuff for the general public to put on the rack.
Oh, okay. So that's what transpired that changed you from Edris Flair Fashion into Edris.
No, what changed me from Edris Flair Fashion was the loss of my contracts. You know, I did National Bank, Development Bank, I did police.
Okay. All right, and then you just changed the whole concept of your business. So you started
because it wasn't working the way I wanted it to. You know, I should have spinned off after those years into my own factory. I brought a London Sitting Guilds degree here. It got messed up, you know, and so a lot of things like that. Just let me do what, you know, I can handle without having to fight any battles.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because most people they try something, maybe it fails according to their way of thinking. It doesn't work out like they would like it to, because maybe the vision was one way, and their decision is to stop altogether. But you instead you tweaked it and did it another way. You did not stop.
That's because I never fail. I just find another way of dealing with it.
Exactly. Because really failure is not really something that happens.
No.
And once you could find a learning point through it all and change and adjust and continue, then it's not really failure. Okay. What will be your best 2 tips that you would say to someone who's starting their own business, who's trying to get off the ground? Any tips that you will suggest to them?
Well, I would say to them they have to be determined that they are going to go through with it. Okay? They have to organize themselves in terms of how to measure the customer if it's in dressmaking.
Determination and organization.
Yes.
Okay.
So once you got that, you know, you're really ready to fly.
Okay, so it's determination and organization. Them is 2 Some to sales
Yeah.
tips. Wow. Okay. What are some common time management tactics or approach that you follow or don't follow? Because you know, a lot of different ways people say that you can manage your time. What you find that you take on and you do, and maybe those that you just forget about.
Some of them I would like to forget about is alteration. I don't like that. But I do it because I don't like to let down my customers. For me, when I'm doing an outfit, I make sure that I take the correct measurements, that when I finish that item fit and I don't have to do anything else with it, because I don't like going over things. So I concentrate on fitting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So once you get that done, you don't. So sometimes you don't have to alter at all. It comes so perfect that it's like.
Sometimes I don't have to alter that, but you get some people who say, "Well, I'll need a little bit tighter here," you know. But don't alter no more. No more alters.
Okay. Okay. What's next for you? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? What do you see yourself do?
Well, I have already started training young people, especially helping out those from the Cotton Thomas School, which is the special ed. I work along with National Skill to help, you know, young mothers, you know, show them how to put in a hem, how to put on the buttons if they got children, so that they're not out on the road looking this, you know. And so that, and I don't mind going along that line for another few years and then have a rest.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about working with young mothers. And so what you find that the common thing that they would like to learn about. Let's talk about like the common thing that you usually.
You really have to push them, dear.
Oh.
Because these young mothers, they're young mothers, and they still have the boyfriend on their mind. It's true. But you know, when you get them to focus, you know, they take on what you're showing them, because I have worked with a few of them and, you know, they take it on.
What are the benefits of you starting a small business?
Well, I don't do as much work as I used to when I, you know, had contracts and that. I still, you know, sometimes take on small contracts. Like I've just finished Skeleton, you know. But that's the biggest one I'm doing right now. You know, others it's just more or less individuals and, you know, netball. I've just finished netball, you know, and that kind of thing.
So do you get a lot more time for yourself? Or that's not true? Because like I've been talking to entrepreneurs and they're saying that's like a myth. You don't get a whole lot of time.
You don't. You make time for yourself, because I can't go out of balance. You know, I have to do the physical and the spiritual, so I have to balance myself to get time to study, meditate.
So how do you make time? What's the balance? How do you do it? You say, okay, 5 hours for business and then 5 hours for spiritual, or you say, okay, let's cut at this specific time to do this, and how do you find balance?
Well, truly, if I work from about 8 to 4, I would think I've done more than enough, but I would go to 5. And then after that, that's me, and, you know, the shower and the word. Very seldom I take anything at home, and I'm way up in the mountain, and so it's good sleep.
So the idea is when you're finished with work, let work stay at work.
Yeah.
You don't bring it to your home and try to.
Well, I wouldn't say I don't, because sometimes when I'm doing something and I want it finished for the next day, if somebody come and they say to me, oh, I need this for tomorrow, and I'm saying, ma, I can't do that. They say, ma, help me out, you know. And I says, okay, I'll take it home, and then I would deal with it. So sometimes I do that, but it is not an everyday practice.
Okay.
But I do that to help out my customer.
Okay, all right, understand. Okay, we have been conversating for quite some time, right? So I'm going to just ask one more question for the road. So I'm thinking about individuals that is out there who have a desire, maybe a zeal to start a business, but there's been held back because of their fears, their hold up, their things that they're thinking in their brain that maybe I'm not strong enough in this point, or maybe I don't have enough education in that point, and I have to make sure that I have enough education before I can take the job. What will you say to people?
Well, to do some training. There's we're very fortunate here in St. Kitts. There's lots of training programs go on, and people could, take advantage of that. And if, they decided they're going to go into business for something that they like, right? They just get up to date on, the stuff that they need and where they're coming short, and you know what I mean? And they would get help.
Okay, so where is the training areas that that is in St. Kitts?
Well, we have national skills, which is very good, and national skills really try to help the young people there. They really do, because they don't just take you on and let you come in just for your stipend, and they make sure that you're trained on something.
So that's a nice place that they
Yeah, so I say national skill because they have people like myself and other people who work along with them.
Oh, okay, that's a good. I didn't even know that there's an area.
Yes, national skills.
Area,
they used to be youth skills. No,
the same place as youth skills. Okay.
It's the same.
Sorry.
It's the same, but they just upgrade to national skills.
Because the skills come national now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're good, they're really good.
Okay.
They're really good.
Thank you, Edris, for opening your business place to us in Positively Driven. We've learned a lot from talking about seamstress, the different areas of seamstress, where you came from and where you are now and where you intend to go. Thank you very much, and I do think that I'll be back. Maybe to take a seamstress class of my own. Who knows,
Yes,
Anyways, enjoy yourself, and thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
All right.
Okay.